Alrighty, I think we are ready to go. Good evening to all of you. This is One Who Got Spread, and tonight is the first day of Pokemon Worlds in Yokohama, Japan. They just did the Pokemon Go, the video game, and then the TCG tournament today. They started to kick things off. And so, in honor of that Pokemon Worlds competition starting, I thought it might be fun to run through how to play the Pokemon TCG. So in this video, we're going to play a practice match between two decks that I have built over my time of playing the TCG. And we're just going to run through the parts of a game, how to set up, and some of the strategies involved in the TCG. So first off, I want to once again give you all a big welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope everyone's day has been going well and that everyone has been staying cool. The temperatures are still soaring, but soon it'll be fall. And also, if anyone here has started with their semester in school, I wish you the best, and hopefully your school year will go swimmingly. Now some of all of you out there are starting school already, so best of luck to all of you there, and have a good start of the school year. Alright, so let's get started and talk a little bit about these decks that we're going to be doing in this practice match. Sorry about that, I messed up on the shuffle. Alright, so in this hand we have a standard single prizer deck. This is going to be the Lunarock deck. It features the Solrock as well as the Lunatone as the main Pokemon in the mix. We also have some others that you'll see play in this deck, such as Radiant Greninja and a Manaphy, if I could find it. Here we are. So those are going to be the main Pokemon in this deck. All decks in the Pokemon TCG have 60 cards in them, about 15 to 20 of which are going to be your actual Pokemon. You'll have a mix of basic Pokemon Stage 1, Stage 2, as well as Rule Box Pokemon. Rule Box Pokemon encompass Radiant Pokemon like that Greninja that we saw earlier, as well as your Vs, V-Star, V-Maxes, and with the Scarlet and Violet series, we have the return of the EX Pokemon as well. So we also have a bunch of trainer cards in any deck. We have items as well as some tools. Pokemon tool cards are now their own thing. They used to be called item cards, but they are now Pokemon tool cards in their own category. We also have supporter cards, which are cards that feature different trainers and characters from the games, and they usually have a very powerful effect. You could only play one supporter card during your turn. So some staples that we have in here are Professor's Research, which lets you get a new hand. We also have Cynthia's Ambition. We also have Clara, which is a recovery card. It lets you pick up 2 Pokemon as well as 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile. We also have the Boss's Orders that could help you switch into one of your opponent's weaker Pokemon and get a prize card for knocking it out. Alongside our supporter, our item, as well as our tool cards, we also have stadium cards as part of the trainer card category. Stadium cards are cards to introduce effects for both players. So if I play this Pokestop, I'll read the text, and once during each player's turn, that player may discard 3 cards from the top of their deck. If a player discarded any item cards in this way, they put those item cards into their hand. So, notice the text says that the effect of a stadium affects both players. So, both players could use this Pokestop, and as well as other stadium cards, you could only have one active at a time, and whenever one comes into play that's new, you'll have to discard the one that was previously in play. So a lot of strategies involve using stadiums to your advantage, as well as blocking the opponent whenever possible. The next card in your deck is one of the most staple. would be all of the energy cards. Pokemon in the TCG need energy to attack. There's many types of energy. Some of them double up, so fairy types used to be in the TCG, but they have since been changed to be all psychic types. So psychic also stands for poison and ghost as well. Same case with water. Some ice Pokemon are going to be water type since there isn't an ice type in the TCG. And you also have special energy too. I do not see any right now in here in the deck, but I know for sure we'll come across some special energy in this other deck here. One more thing about the deck. This Lunarock Lunatone deck works as an acceleration type play, where you will have to put as many of these Lunarock, as well as a Radiant Greninja, if I could find it again, keep slipping, there we go. You'll have to put a ton of these Lunarock onto your bench. Why do you need a Lunarock on your bench? Well, you'll have to use the ability of the Lunarock. Once during your turn, you may attach a psychic energy from your discard pile to one of your Lunatone. Lunatone in this deck is going to be your main attacker, so we have a ton of ways to discard those psychic energy, get those Lunatone and Lunarock onto the bench, start setting them up, and then we have this attack on the Lunatone called Moon Kinesis for 3 colorless energy, which means I could have up to 3 of any type of energy I want to use this attack. It could be 3 water, it could be 1 psychic and 2 water, it could be 3 grass even. If it's colorless, that means you just need an energy to that attack. However, on Cycle Draw, if I wanted to use its other attack, I would need a psychic energy in its cost. So let's say if I have some Lunarock in play, so I use their ability, Sun Energy, to attach 3 psychic energy to the Lunatone in the active. Then I get to use Moon Kinesis, and this attack's effect says this attack does 30 more damage for each psychic type energy attached to this Pokemon. Those 3 psychic energy that will be attached to the Lunatone via the Lunarock's ability or by hand, that would be 30, 60, 90, plus 30, 120 base. You're doing at least 120 damage with this deck. And you could accelerate really quickly, too. Which is nice as a deck to get started with if you're just going into the TCG. The Lunarock deck is a very good starting point to get the ropes of how to play and all the strategy involved with the different cards in the deck. The deck that we'll be doing a practice match against is the Regi deck. This deck has all of the Regi Pokemon currently in the games. So we have Regigigas, Regirock, Regice, or Regice, you could pronounce it either way. Registeel is in here somewhere. Let me find Registeel. There's one Registeel. There's 2 of them. We have Registeel as well as Regidrago and Regieleki, which are the 2 newest Regi Pokemon introduced in Sword and Shield. The premise of this deck is to, well, have all the Regis active in your game. You'll usually have one of the Regis out as an active, either Regidrago or Regieleki as the main attacker, and then the rest of the Regis will be on your bench. You can only have up to 5 Pokemon on your bench, and it just so happens that there are 5 plus 1 Regi, so 6 Regi Pokemon currently in the whole series. So that means they could print out a card for Regigigas, such as this one, that has an ability where you could only use the ability if all the other Regi Pokemon are in play. Ancient Wisdom says once during your turn, if you have Regirock, Regice, Registeel, Regieleki, and Regidrago in play, you may attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. Now you're able to power up your Regidrago in the active with its costly 3 energy attack. You're able to also power up a Regieleki if you want to use its targeted bolt, or there's also one in here that does 120 damage to the active if you want to use that as well. So this deck is all about setting up those Regi Pokemon, getting them onto the bench, and then you're going to be adding your energy and then just keeping one of them in the active. If it gets knocked out, you have ways of recovering the Pokemon. You could always use Ancient Wisdom once you have a backup copy of a Regi, a specific Regi in your hand, and then you just go from there. Alright, So 2 60-card decks, 2 different strategies, both involve your core of the specific Pokemon in the strategy, your trainer cards, your stadiums, and then all the energy cards that you might need for play. Alright, so to begin any match, of course you'll want to shuffle your deck, so let's do that right now. Let me make sure everything's in the right order. There are several ways to shuffle a deck in Pokemon. There's ways that they do it at the actual worlds that I haven't learned how to do it yet. I've been practicing how to shuffle in that method, but they always fall out of my hands, so we're just going to shuffle like this for right now. I do it again. Some of the deck sleeves do shuffle easier than others. These ones kind of have a hard time. Alright, so let's get that one all shuffled now. This one, move these out of the way. And we're just going to cut it. Alright, so to start the TCG match, always greet your opponent, ask them how they're doing, introduce yourself, and wish them luck in this match. Then someone will say heads or tails, so that means we'll need a coin flip die. Coin flip die for a standard tournament could be found in those Elite Trainer kits, so this is an example of one. Hello Adventures of Anna, how are you doing? Good evening to you, and a long time no see. Right, so on a tournament legal die for coin flips, the odd numbers are going to be tails, while the even numbers are your heads. So let's say heads is what the Mewtwo deck here, the Lunarock Lunatone deck, chose. So they need an even number. Let's see. I could reflip that because it got knocked by the 2 decks themselves. Let's re-roll that. Alright, so it's tails. So that means the Regi deck gets to select if they go first or second. This is a very important step in planning out your strategy. If you go first, you can't evolve, nor can you use a supporter, nor can you attack. However, if you're going second, you could use a supporter as well as your attack. So if you want to evolve your Pokemon, usually some decks like going first if they want to set up things quickly. If you have an evolution, if you know you're going to probably have an evolution of one of your basics in your hand, then you're probably going to want to go first. A very important note to make due to the mentioning of you might as likely have an evolution of the basic Pokemon in your deck in your hand is that you could only have up to 4 copies of each card in a deck. So that means I could only have 4 Rayquaza VMAX in my deck. I could only have 4 Professor's Research in my deck. I could only have 4 Escape Ropes, for example. However, there's some cards that break this rule, such as Basic Energy. I could have a deck where I have 30 Water Energies or so, and I do have a deck where I have like 38 energy in it. We'll see that play. We'll see that be in play later on, hopefully. Or, if it's a Radiant Pokemon, you could only have 1 copy of a Radiant Pokemon in the whole deck. So out of 60 cards, only one of them can be a Radiant Pokemon. So a Radiant Greninja is the only Radiant Pokemon in this deck. Alrighty. This deck is going to decide to go... Let's go second. So that forces the Lunarock Lunatone deck to go first, because what if they are able to accelerate their energy with their ability, then they'll attack our Pokemon. By going second, they can't attack. And we also get to use a supporter too, so that might help us set up our Regis, which is the main point of this deck. Alrighty, now each player will cut the deck of the opponent like so. Alrighty. And now you get your starting hand. The starting hand is always 7 cards, and you're hoping to get some basic Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, starting hand of Lunarock Lunatone. Let's see if we have any basic Pokemon. And it looks like we do. We have 2 Lunarock. So one of these basic Pokemon will go into the active spot, and as many of them as we choose to will go on the bench. So let's put the Lunarock in the active and then one Lunarock into the bench. Alrighty. Since we did not need to take a mulligan, which is an instance of you don't have any basic Pokemon in your starting hand, we could actually go and set up our prize cards. Prize cards are going to stay face down throughout the whole game, and each player will have 6 of these prize cards. You take a prize card each time you knock out an opponent's Pokemon, and the person who takes all their prize cards first will be the winner of the TCG match. So, these are our 6 prize cards. I'm going to actually keep them off screen, so we have more space to talk about the bench Pokemon and do all of those other maneuvers, and instead, we're going to use another dice counter to show the number of the prize cards that we have left. So we're starting with 6. Alright, let's set up the Regi deck here. This person is going to set up the Regi deck again with a starting hand of 7. We're going to check if we have any basic Pokemon in here. It looks like we do not. We don't have a single basic Pokemon in our hand. That means we would show our whole hand to the opponent and say we need a mulligan. Therefore, we will shuffle this hand back into the deck, and then once we do, we draw another 7. I'm going to just shuffle by cutting a few times to save time, but in an actual tournament match, please make sure to shuffle your deck. Alrighty, and I'm going to cut again, and going to get our starting hand again. Hopefully we do have some of those Regi, some of those basic Pokemon in there. Alrighty, we have one basic Pokemon, and it's Regieleki. So we're going to put the Regieleki in our active. We don't have any others, so that means we go to our prize cards. Alright, so the top 6 again face down. We take one each time we knock out the opponent's Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, these are going to be the prize cards, and again, in order to save some space, I'm going to just keep the prize cards as a counter on this side. Alrighty, since they had to take one mulligan, that means the opponent actually gets to start with 1 extra card. You start with 1 extra card each time the opponent takes a mulligan, unless there are 2 mulligans or mulligans that could pair up. So let's say if both of you take 2 mulligans, then they cancel out. But since there's only 1 mulligan, and it was on the opponent, the Lunarock deck will actually start with an extra card in their hand. Alrighty, since this deck was going second, that means Lunarock is going first. So to begin a turn, you always want to draw a card. Alright. We also want to flip over the Pokemon and reveal them once the opponent is ready. Okay, so we have the Lunarock, Regieleki. We just changed the lighting. I wasn't accounting for all the glare. Sorry about that. I'll just pick up these cards whenever we start playing. And so we drew a card to begin our turn. During your turn, as the first turn of the person who's going first, I cannot play any of these supporter cards. I can't play Ino, I can't play Professor's Research, I can't play Silene, nor can I play Bruno. However, I could still attach an energy from my hand to one of my Pokemon. You could only do that once per turn. I could also play as many item and tool cards as I'd like to. So first off, I think we should get one of our Lunatone on the board. So let's try to use a Hisuian Heavy Ball, which is an item card that lets you look down at your prize cards. You may reveal a basic Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. If you don't find anything, this Hisuian Heavy Ball just replaces... if you do find something, sorry about that, it just replaces that Pokemon in the prize cards. Then you'll shuffle your prize cards, of course. But if you don't find anything, it just goes into the discard pile. Alright, so let's use the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Remember, you could play as many item cards as you'd like during your turn. Okay, so these are our prize cards, and oh, look at that. We do have one Lunatone, so this is going to go into the hand. We're going to replace it with the Hisuian Heavy Ball. And then we're going to make sure we shuffle our prize cards after we play it. Alrighty. And this Lunatone, since I do have space on my bench and it is a basic Pokemon, I'll place it down onto the bench. We could also play as many Pokemon tool cards as we'd like during our turn. However, only one Pokemon tool card can be attached to a Pokemon at a time, unless you're the Revavroom EX from Obsidian Flames. That ability allows you to attach 4 tools onto Revavroom EX. But since we're not Revavroom EX, we're just going to be only allowed to attach 1 tool to our Pokemon. So let's go attach this Bravery Charm, which will add 50 HP to the basic Pokemon it's attached to the Lunatone. I do not want to waste a water energy on Lunarock, unless I do want to switch it out, which I might want to, so I'm going to just attach it for time's sake right now. And I think we could retreat, just to show what retreating is. So another thing you could do during your turn is retreat. You have a retreat cost on every Pokemon card, and the retreat cost, how you play it, is you need the sufficient energy in order to switch your Pokemon out to something else on your bench. This retreat cost is 1 energy, so we have 1 energy in hand. We could retreat it. We choose a new active Pokemon. Let's put this Lunatone. Let's put this Lunatone in the active. The Lunarock goes into the bench, and the energy of the retreat cost will go into the discard pile. So I'm going to just put it up here. That's the discard pile. This is not the layout you would be using in an actual tournament. This is just the crunched in version of it, because the table I'm using isn't that big, and for some reason this camera does not zoom out when it's streaming for some reason. I do not know why. Alrighty, since we cannot play a supporter nor can we attack, and we've used all the items that we'd like to, we're going to say pass, and it's now the turn of Team Regi. Alright, let's draw a card to begin the turn. Oh, look at that. It's another Regi. Alright, so since we are the player going second, and even though if it's our first turn, we're still able to attack, and we could also play supporter if we would like to. So, let me think what I want to do. I'm going to not put that Regi into my hand, though, because we kind of need this, into my bench, because we kind of need that space for the other Regis. Sorry about that. We need that bench space for the other Regis. Almost made a tongue twister there for no reason. Okay, so Regi, since we can attack, there isn't really anything else we could do. We don't have anything else on the bench, so we can't play switch. We can't play switch card. We could play escape rope, but that's just going to move the Lunarock up. It's much better if we get to switch out as well. I'm going to go and attach my energy for turn to the Regi. And now we have enough energy attached to it for one of its attacks. We could use Static Shock for 20 damage. Once you attack, your turn ends. So that will go to the next player. Alright. So, Team Lunatone is going to draw a card and begin their turn. Oh, look at that. We have a Boss's Orders. Okay, I am not seeing anything in here right now that might be crucial. If that was the case, I would Professor's Research. However, Boss's Orders are very valuable. You're able to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. So if they had something weak on the bench that you could easily damage, you could play a Boss's Orders and then bring it up to the active and then attack it to get a prize card. So, since these are pretty valuable cards, I might just play Iono. Iono is a new trainer that you'll find in Paldea Evolved, and it basically works like a refresher to everyone's hand. It's a hand disruption card, one of the strongest hand disruptions currently in the TCG. So each player shuffles their hand and puts it at the bottom of the deck. If either player put any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So Iono is very useful when you still have a lot of prize cards and when the opponent's been knocking out your Pokemon. The reason being is they'll be drawing less cards when you play the card. So when you play Ino, and let's say this deck here, the Regi deck, it's just so powerful, it's down to like 2 prize cards. It's been knocking our Pokemon out a lot on Team Lunarock. So if I played Ino right now, they would have to shuffle their hand. They could only draw 4. I mean, they could only draw 2. It's not a judge. Judge is shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 4. On Ino, it's shuffle your hand, put it at the bottom of their deck, and since we have 6 prize cards, we would draw 6, and then since they only have 2 prize cards left, they would only draw 2. So it's a wonderful hand disruption card, and it could also help get you a new hand as well. Alright, so since all these are pretty valuable, I do not want to professors research them away into my discard, so I'm going to just play Ino. So I'm going to shuffle my hand, put it at the bottom, and the opponent is going to do the same. The main thing of playing the Pokemon TCG is reading the card text and formulating a strategy. You always want to be quick on your feet. Think ahead. What is the opponent going to try and come up with to mess up my strategy? How could I outmaneuver them? How could I disrupt their hand? Do I think they're going to play a boss's orders? How could I possibly force them to switch and then they'll be in a tight situation? All those things are very good to think about when playing any kind of deck. How many resources do I have left in my deck? How many of this Pokemon are left for me to evolve? Because if you ran out of evolutions or if you ran out of the basic Pokemon, you might be in a pickle depending on what deck you're playing. It's very good to always have an active mindset when you're playing the Pokemon TCG. Always be thinking on your feet. And be prepared to change your strategy, because the time will come when you have to change how you're playing the deck. Sometimes you'll be using a different attacker than your main one. And it all comes down to strategy as well. Alrighty, so we're going to shuffle the hand here. This was actually at 6. We were just saying 2 for that demonstration of Ino. Alright, so now we're each going to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So both players have 6 prize cards. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Not bad, not bad. We do have our stadium, so this is the Pokestop. We're going to play the We're going to play the Pokestop. I don't know why this is leaning. There we go. Okay, so again, the Pokestop is discard the top 3 cards of your deck. If any of them are items, put them into your hand, and both the players could use it. And then this deck, it could actually be pretty useful because we do need to discard some energy in order to use the Lunarock to power up our Lunatone. However, I'm going to play a few items before we get cooking with that Pokestop. I'm going to play 1 copy of Trekking Shoes. Look at the top card of your deck. You may put the card into your hand. If you don't, discard that card and draw a card. Alright, so whenever you're playing Trekking Shoes, this is something very important for the official tournament play. Always keep your deck and your hand separate from the card that you use Trekking Shoes with. So I'm looking at this card because of Trekking Shoes. I don't want it to be holding my hand with the card I just pulled up from Trekking Shoes, because maybe I switched it out with something else, and that would be very, very malicious, and it's cheating. So in order to not get into the habit of doing that by accident, or getting the judge called on you because the other player thinks you've cheated, it's best to always keep those 2 things separate. So Trekking Shoes card, and then my hand over here on the far right of the screen. Okay, so this is the card I got from Trekking Shoes. I'm going to say discard because we could just bring it back using the Lunarock energy. So therefore I'm going to draw a card. This one I have to keep. Oh man, it's another energy. Okay. Alrighty, is there any other way I could discard things? Yes, we could actually use the Pokestop. So let's use the Pokestop. I'm going to put this counter to white to say that we've used it. So we're going to discard the top 3 cards of the deck. We have 2 energy and a supporter. This is actually Clara, one of the recovery-oriented supporters, so it might sting a bit to get this into the discard pile. However, there is an item card that could get us this Clara back if we would like to. So, we could actually go and attack now. We could go and attack. However, that would put the opponent in a very bad spot, and it would be an automatic win. So, in order to show the actual playthrough of a game, I'm not just going to go for the win this time. I'm going to just go a bit slow. I'm going to attach from hand for turn, and instead of using the 2 sun energy here from the Lunarock to attach 2 other psychic from the discard pile into the Lunatone and then knocking out the Regi, I'm just going to go and use its first attack, Cycle Draw, which says discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. Alright, I'm going to discard the Hisuian Heavy Ball since we already looked into the prize cards and there's only this Lunatone. There wasn't a second basic Pokemon, so I'm going to discard that and draw 3. Right, since we've attacked, that means it's the turn of Team Regi, so I'm going to get our hand over here and draw a card to begin the turn. Alright, it looks like we got more of the Regi Pokemon, so let's put them down. So we have Regirock onto the bench. We have Registeel, that's going onto the bench as well. And then we have Regidrago. This is also going to go onto the bench. A very interesting thing to keep track of is the Regidrago has an ability called Dragon's Horde when it's in the active spot. So if it were in the active spot, I'm able to draw cards until I have 4 cards into my hand. So that could help us as a draw engine to get more cards if needed. Okay, let's see what I want to do now. Okay, so we have a stadium. We could demonstrate what happens when you try to use a different stadium. All right, so that being said, let's go and play Path to the Peak. This is a card that's going to be played a lot in Pokemon Worlds in Yokohama on the TCG side because Pokemon with Rule Box in play, both yours and your opponents, have no abilities. So Pokemon with a Rule Box are those V-Stars, V-Maxes, Vs, and EXs, as well as Radiant Pokemon. That shuts down a lot of these decks that are on the top of the TCG ladder right now. So if I was playing something like Lost Box, that it's just the regular single prize or Lost Box, or one that doesn't have a V or an EX that uses an ability, I could shut down my opponent's strategy by playing a Path to the Peak if I play it correctly at the right time. If I know that they're going to be using abilities for draw on their Pokemon V, if I know that they're going to be using abilities to disrupt my strategy or move damage counters or whatnot, whatever their Pokemon's abilities that have rule boxes say, if they have a Radiant Greninja, I could play this Path to the Peak, and then it will shut down that Radiant Greninja and they can't draw anymore. They can't use the ability of the Radiant Greninja, which we might see later on. They can't use that. So let's play the Path to the Peak. So that means this stadium that was previous in play will be discarded, and the Path to the Peak will be now in effect for both players. I already attached return. Can't really do anything else. So, however, what I can do is discard the 2 energy here, bring up the Regidrago, and then Dragon's Horde, which, I don't know if I want to do that or not. I think I will. So I'm going to retreat by discarding these 2 energy and bring up the Regidrago. Remember the ability of Regidrago where we could draw until we have 4 cards in our hand? Let's go and use that right now. 1, 2. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. Regigigas right onto the bench. So now we're just missing Regice or Regice, and we have our strategy. Okay, so now there's also Professor's Research. We haven't played a supporter this turn. So Professor's Research says discard your hand and draw 7. which I might actually go and... yeah, I'll go do that. So just in case we do get that Regi Ice, we'll have in our hand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Looks like we have two Regi Ice in our hand. So let's place one of those down onto the bench. And now we have all the Regis together. We've got the band back together, the Regi band. Alright, so now we could use Ancient Wisdom. Once during your turn, if you have Regirock, Regi Ice, Registeel, Regieleki, and Regidrago in play, you may attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So now, these 3 energy, I could place them on one of my Pokemon. I'm going to place it onto the Regieleki. So now we have something powered up, ready to go, if it ever needs to go into the active spot. Alrighty, the Regidrago does not have enough energy, however, to attack, so I think we're going to pass. So now it's Team Lunatone's turn. They're going to draw a card to begin it. Right, it's an Ultra Ball. First, I am going to just put another Solrock as well as a Lunatone onto the bench. I'm going to go and attach from hand this Psychic Energy to the Lunatone all the way over here. We have 3 Solrock and 1 Lunatone on our bench. It's just off screen. Righty. Okay, the next thing I will be doing is playing the Sun Energy ability to power up our Lunatone. Once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy from your discard to one of your Lunatone. Alright, so we have 3 Solrock with the ability, so that means I could use it 3 times. Once for each of the Solrock. So that's 3 energy here. And I think what I'm going to do is place 2 energy to this Lunatone. And then 1 energy will go to the Lunatone on the bench that's off screen. Alright, so I think we have enough energy here to score a knockout on the Regidrago. So let's see. Let's use Moon Kinesis. So 30, 60, 90, which is from 30 for each Psychic Energy attached to the Lunatone, plus the base 30, that is going to be a knockout. Oh wait, 30, 60, 90, 120. Oh, we are 1 short. So it's going to be sitting there with 120 damage. So we are very close to getting a knockout. This might force them to switch out, so we'll just have to see. We're not in a bad spot. It just has 10 HP left. We attached 1 more energy from here, but we already did that, so hindsight's 20/20, right? Okay. Since we've attacked, it's now Team Regi's turn. We draw a card. It's an energy search. Let me scoot up here. Sorry about that. Alright, I'm going to attach this, or do you know what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and Ultra Ball. This is a Pokemon search card, but in order to use the Ultra Ball to look for any Pokemon out of your deck, you have to discard 2 other cards. Since the Regigigas involves the usage of energy cards from the discard, I'm going to discard 2 energy. Right, so now I'm going to look for a Pokemon. I'm going to get another Regidrago since this one might be knocked out next turn. And I'm going to shuffle by cutting. Again, in a real tournament, you would shuffle by shuffling. And probably letting the other player cut your deck after you shuffle, to make sure all your cards are mixed up. Everything's fair. Alrighty, and then 1 cut. Here we go. Right, Regidrago goes into the hand. We do not have enough space on the bench for it. Alrighty, now let's use Energy Search. This is an item card that lets you search your deck for a basic energy, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then, of course, shuffle your deck afterwards. Let's grab the Fighting Energy. Why not? We also have some Electric Energy in there, but I really like the fighting energy. I like that nice tan coffee kind of color it has. Alrighty. If you notice the Regi Drago, it has a 3 energy cost for its 1 attack. However, we have 1 colorless energy in that energy cost, and then the 2 other energy, a grass and a fire, they were just discarded. I have that Regigigas with the ability that allows me to attach up to 3 energy from my discard pile to one of my Pokemon if all the Regi are in play. So, I think most likely my next move will be attaching the fighting to the Regidrago and then using Regigigas' ability to bring the other 2 energy to the Regidrago to score a knockout, hopefully, on the Lunatone. Alrighty, gonna cut once. Alright, fighting energy to Regidrago, and then Ancient Wisdom from the Regigigas. I almost said from the Regidrago. No, the Regigigas ability, all the Regi are in play, so that means move up to 2 energy from the discard to one of the Pokemon. Alright, so now Regidrago has the fire energy, the grass energy, and 1 more energy of any kind in order to use Giant Fangs. So let's go and use Giant Fangs for 160. Let's see if that's going to be enough. So Bravery Charm, 50 HP on top of 90, 140, goes down to 120 because of the 2 damage counters already on it from previous, and that is a knockout. Right, so that means we get to take a prize card. Let's take a prize card. And this goes to 5, so we're 1 prize card ahead right now. Alright, we choose another active Pokemon on that side, and begin the turn by drawing a card. It's another Bravery Charm, very good. Alright. We have Ultra Ball, Pokestop. We could get rid of the Path to the Peak if we want to, in order to play a Radiant Greninja, but I think we're going to be okay for right now. So, instead, I'm going to go and use the Solrock ability again, the Sun Energy, to take 3 Psychic Energy from the discard and place them onto the Lunatone. Like so. Actually, we only need like 1 more, I think. Or even, yeah, we only need 1. How about we conserve energy, but I'm going to actually just attach 2. Because that will be able to knock out most of the Regis, I think. Yeah, even Regigigas. Alright, so Moonkinesis. We're going to go and attack for, remember, all of these are 30 plus more damage. So, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, and that is going to be a knockout on Regidrago. Switch this to 5 prizes, and we take a prize card. So now we're tied again. Alright, choose a new Pokemon on this side. Let's go to the Regieleki. And we're going to draw a card to begin the turn. Ooh, it's a Bravery Charm too. Alright, Regidrago's on the bench. So now we have all the Regis again. Let's attach a Bravery Charm to it. Again, the Bravery Charm, if it's attached to a basic Pokemon, the basic Pokemon in question gets 50 plus HP. Okay, next, I think I'm going to go and Ancient Wisdom. I'm going to grab my 3 energy that were in the discard pile via the Regigigas ability, attach them back to the Regidrago. Remember, this allows us to attack because we have our fire energy in the cost, we have our grass energy in the cost, and then we have 1 energy of any other type. Alright, so now we have our other attacker prepped. Okay, so Regieleki, let's use Terra Spark. So for 3 energy, 2 of them have to be lightning energy or electric energy, and then the last one could be any type of energy. We chose to attach a gift energy. This is a special energy. Special energy are unique because they have an actual effect to them, as well as you could only have 4 copies of a type of special energy in your deck. So I could only have 4 gift energy. I can't have like 10. I could have 4 gift energy and 4 double colorless or double turbo energy, which is another type of special energy. could do that, but I just can't have like 10 gift energy. Alrighty, so as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, provides colorless. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out from damage from an attack, your opponent's Pokemon, draw cards until you have 7 in your hand. Alrighty, so we're going to be using Terra Spark. Discard all I almost said psychic. Man, discard all electric energy from this Pokemon. This attack also does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Alrighty. So discard the 2 electric energy and 120 to the active, and then 40 damage to 2 of the bench. We need to get that Manaphy in there. Alrighty. That would usually be a knockout, but since we have the Bravery Charm, it does have some HP left. It has 20 HP left. Alrighty, since we've attacked, it's going to go to the next player. We're going to draw a card to begin the turn. Alright. Let's go and look for that Manaphy. So I'm going to discard Ultra Ball, as well as another Ultra Ball. Yeah, why not? Let's discard 2 Ultra Ball and a Psychic Energy to use the Ultra Ball. Alright. Let's look for a Manaphy. There's a Manaphy. Alright, so Manaphy is a basic Pokemon. It's very squishy. He only has 70 HP, but it's a very cute Pokemon. And a very useful one in Dex as well. The ability Water Wave Veil. Prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So, this protects all our Lunarock. Works like a charm, doesn't it? Alright, so we're going to put that Manaphy directly onto the bench after getting it from the Ultra Ball, because we do have space. And it's also a basic. And a shuffle and cut. There we go. Alrighty, next I'll be going into the discard pile using the Sun Energy. I'm going to get, I think we're actually going to be good, so I'm not going to use Sun Energy. What I am going to do is use Moon Kinesis, and we calculated the damage. We had 4 energy cards, so 30, 60, 90, 120, plus 30 from here, 150, and that's going to be a knockout. Oh, Regi Alecki. I'm going to take a prize card. Remember that gift energy. We do have that gift energy to take care of on our side, so let's draw cards until you have 7, so that means we would draw 3. The opposing team Regi would draw 3 to get to 7. Ready? We bring up a new active Pokemon. Let's bring up Regidrago. And let's draw a card to begin the turn. Alrighty, let's put another Regieleki onto the bench. Let's use a Bravery Charm onto Regieleki. And that needs to be there. Let me see what else we could do. We could play a Supporter Judge, but I like that escape rope, so I'm going to keep my hand for right now. Alright. Let's use our Ancient Wisdom to bring back the 3 energy in our previous Regieleki onto our new one. Be the ability of the Regieleki. Not Regieleki. The Regigigas ability will allow us to take the 3 energy and put them back onto our Regieleki from the discard. Okay, we can't use Dragon's Horde because we have more than 4 cards in our hand. However, we can attack using Giant Fangs, and that's going to be a knockout. And we're going to take a prize card. So we're tied again, 4-4. Alright, we bring up our next attacker here. It's a Lunarock. We're going to draw a card. Begin the turn. Okay. I'm in need of a Lunatone or a Rescue Carrier, so I'm going to get rid of the Path to the Peak and play a Pokestop. I'm going to use the Pokestop immediately, so discard the top 3. Let's see if we get any good items. Oh, nice. We got an Ultra Ball. Alright. Pokemon Search. We did get rid of a Boss's Orders, which is kind of sad. Rip Cyrus, everyone. Can we get an F in the chat for Cyrus or in the comments section? Can we get an F in the chat for the boss of Team Galactic? He got sent to the discard pile. Alrighty. Let's use the Ultra Ball, though. Let's discard Pokestop and Roxanne. To use it, let's get another Lunatone. We could also get our Radiant Greninja, but I'd rather get a Lunatone right now. So at least we have an attacker. We have some energy in here for the Radiant Greninja. It's just going to take a bit to get to it. Alrighty, there we go. Shuffled and cut. Alright, let's use our 3 Lunarock Sun Energy abilities to get 3 energy from our discard and attach them to the Lunatone. Alrighty, and since we can't attack... Oh wait, we can actually. Scratch that. Yes, we can. But we'll be knocked out next turn. It will put pressure on them because they'll only have 10 HP left. So I think we're going to wait this one out. So we're going to go pass. Alrighty, we're going to draw a card to begin the next turn. Alrighty, I think we could just go and use... Giant Fangs for the knockout. Alrighty, that's going to be one more prize card to us, so that's 3. We're ahead by 1 again. And we're going to draw a card over here to begin the next turn. It's a Bravery Charm. Going to put that onto the Lunatone. I'm going to then play this card, Roxanne, as a supporter. You could only... Wait, sorry, it's going to focus. You could only use this card if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck, then you draw 6 cards and your opponent draws 2. So it's a very massive hand disruption card. Let's play it. Alright, we're going to shuffle our hand. Only 1 card in our hand, which is insane. Very strange. Alrighty. There are actually some decks that only 1 card in your hand. That's actually a very beneficial situation. There are some attacks that you could only use very quickly if you only have 1 card in your hand. Ready? We're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna shuffle and then cut a few times. Right. The opponent draws 2 cards while we draw a whopping 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Alright. Let's see what we have now. We have a Rescue Carrier. Oh, thank goodness we have Rescue Carrier. Alright, so this item is very nifty. Put up to 2 Pokemon each with 90 HP or less from your discard into your hand. Right, so that means I can grab the Lunarock as well as a Lunatone using the Rescue Carrier. I have space on my bench for 2 more Pokemon, so the Lunarock and then the Lunatone are going onto the bench. I'm going to play Trekking Shoes. Once again, look at the top card of your deck. You may keep or discard it. If you want to discard it, you say discard. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep the Bruno. We might need to talk about Bruno later on. Who knows? That could get us out of a pickle. Alrighty. Sun Energy. We haven't used Sun Energy this turn, so let's go and use it 3 times. Need 1 more in order to knock out any of the Regis, because our max HP we have to worry about is 150. And then the other Sun Energy, I'm going to be powering up the Lunatone. So 1 more Psychic. So 2 Psychic Energy from the discard to the other Lunatone, 1 to the active. Alrighty, we have 4 energy under the Lunatone. That means let's go and attack with Moon Kinesis for the... Let me see. Oh wait, Bravery Charm. I forgot about Bravery Charm. So that's going to do 150, but we do have Bravery Charm, so it's actually going to have 30 HP left. Let me get a 150 counter. Forgot about it. Alrighty. Draw a card to begin the turn over here. This is our hand. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Boss's orders. Okay, so let's switch up the... Let's get rid of the Manaphy. I don't like this Manaphy. I don't like that Manaphy. I want to use my Regi Lucky. Okay, and we could also use Dragon's Horde since we only have 2 cards in our hand. 1, 2 to get to 4. See if we got anything good here. We could attach one of these energy to the Regigigas if we'd like to. And then, let's use Dragon's Horde, or not Dragon's Horde, Dragon Fang for the knockout. This would be 2. Take a prize card. Alrighty, they put up their next Pokemon, Lunatone, with 4 energy. We draw a card to begin the turn. Alrighty, I'm going to play Bruno, so we're going to talk about Bruno. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 4 cards if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Draw 7 instead. Alright. Our Manaphy was knocked out, so that means we shuffle our hand and draw 7. Going to do that. Now let me scoot up. Sorry about this. I need to take a pause and scoot up here a bit. There we go. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Oh, look at that. Radiant Greninja. Do we have space, though? Yes, we do. We don't have a Manaphy, so we're able to play the Radiant Greninja. So, Radiant Greninja has the ability Concealed Cards. You must discard an energy card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. So, there's our draw engine. We have Escape Rope to disrupt the opponent. We also have Switch Cart to use after the Escape Rope if we want to move up our Lunatone again. Let's go and actually use Escape Rope, I guess. Yeah, let's go use Escape Rope. So, each player switches their active Pokemon with their bench Pokemon, and the opponent switches first. Okay, so that means I'll switch into the Regieleki. I think we might live. I'm not very sure. I think the Regigigas might live, so I'm going to switch into the Regigigas instead. This is going to switch into... I'm going to switch into this Lunatone over here. However, I'm going to just play a Switch Cart, which allows me to switch my active basic to one of my benched Pokemon and also heal 30 damage. So let's switch out this Lunatone for the other Lunatone now. One previous. Let's use Sun Energy for few energy. Let's see how many do we have. We could only use Sun Energy once, it looks like. I'm going to put that energy onto the active Lunatone just in case. Have some of those Bravery Charms floating around on the opponents. Don't want to be short. So now let's go and use our Moon Kinesis attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 150 plus 30. 180 damage. That's a KO on Regigigas. Take a prize card. So we're now 1 prize behind. Alright. We put out our new active Pokemon. We draw a card. It's a Switch Cart. First, I'll put the Regigigas down. I'll also go and... that's... let me think. No, I don't need to do that. I don't think. Alright, I'm going to attach this Fire Energy to the Regigigas. And... Switch Cart... No, I'm good, I think. I'm going to go and Professor's Research, where I discard my whole hand and draw 7, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I want to knock out the Greninja or one of the Lunatone. Ooh, some of these are upside down. Let's go like this. There we go. Alright. Escape Rope. I don't really want to play that because they're just going to switch into like a Soul Rock or something. Okay, now let's use... Or maybe I will. I don't know. Actually, let's go and retreat on the Regi. I'm going to get rid of these two lightning energy or electric energy to bring out the Regi Drago. I'm going to use Ancient Wisdom to bring them right back onto Regi. And then I'm going to attack with Giant Fangs, hopefully for the knockout. Let's see. 140, that does 160, and that's going to be a knockout. That's match point. We only have one prize card left on Team Regi. Alrighty. Put the Lunatone in, draw a card to begin the next turn. Let's see. Escape Rope. Actually, we could get a KO this turn, so we should be good. Do we have any more Bravery Charm? No, we do not. We need to put a Pot Helmet. Pot Helmet. If the Pokemon this card is attached to doesn't have a rule box, it takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. There we go. Alright, let's go and we could either, let's see, think what else we have. I think we should try for one of those. Oh, there we go. We have a Rescue Carrier right here. Rescue Carrier. Lunatone. And I think that's all we could do. We could get a Solrock, but it'll have to be in our hand. We could get our Manaphy. Actually, yeah, let's switch out the Lunatone for Manaphy. I think that'll be okay. Alrighty. There's a discard. Alright. Sun Energy times 3. We only have 2 on there, so actually we only need... let's put 3. Just in case, you know. This thing only has 10 HP, but for the next thing that comes out, it might have a Bravery Charm on it. They've attached one, so better to be safe than sorry. Let's go and use Moon Kinesis for 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, plus 30, 180 damage, and that's going to be a knockout. Take a prize card, so this is 2. Alright, we are trailing 1 prize card. See what happens. Alright, draw a card to begin the next turn. Escape Rope. There's a Regi Drago in my hand. I'm going to place that onto the bench. So now we could use Ancient Wisdom. Take the energy from this Regi Drago. Place it onto the Pokemon like so. I'm going to go and... Not going to play Escape Rope because either way I think we're going to get this KO. Just one turn behind. Let's see. Need some way to... I think I'm going to go and retreat. Yes. Going to go retreat. You can only retreat once per turn. I'm going to bring out the Regi Drago, use Giant Fangs, and that's game. That was game. We got all of our prize cards. This was the last one, and it's a switch card. Alright, Team Regi won over Team Lunatone. Alrighty, let's see what the other 2 prize cards were. Hisuian Heavy and switch card. Alright. That was a fun match, so it looks like Team Regi won the match, though. Got all our prize cards first. Alrighty. Alright, I'm going to go and take a break, and then we'll get the next match started shortly. Be right back. Gonna clean up first, so we're gonna put away our Regi Drago. I love using the Regi Drago as an attacker. Alrighty, and all of these ones are Regi Pokemon banned. Going into the deck as well. I think someone is upside down. Nope, I was just seeing things. Alrighty, Pokestop. That was part of the Solrock Lunatone, so I'm going to get that as well. Do you know what? I'm just going to split these open like that, and I'll be back shortly. Be right back. I will be taking out the next decks, though. I'll be putting these down, getting them out. Alright, this next one is going to be wild because we have that energy deck that has like 30 plus energy in it, and it's also using cards from Obsidian Flames. To show you quickly what I'm talking about, look at all those energy. Most of the deck is energy. There's a ton of water, a ton of fire. There's all the water, so much water. Look at that. This is going to be a fun deck to use, and we'll be right back. Put them in frame so you see it. There we go. Be right back. Alrighty, thank you so much for waiting. I am back, and let's get this next match started, shall we? Okay, for this deck, we have, again, a ton of energy. As you can see, a ton of water and a ton of fire. Let me explain why. So this Numel is from the Pokemon Obsidian Flames pre-release. This is a set that's coming out this Friday on the 11th, and we're going to be using this Pokemon, Camerupt. Its Eruption attack says discard the top card of each player's deck. This attack does 100 more damage for each energy card discarded in this way. So this means we have the potential to do 250 damage off of a 2 energy attack. We also have another Pokemon in here. This is the Pokemon Celebrations Kyogre that has Aqua Storm for 3 energy. Two of them have to be water. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck and then choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This attack does 50 damage for each energy card you discarded in this way to each of those Pokemon. So it's very useful to pick off things on the bench, as well as if you already got rid of their Manaphy, then you're just able to clean them out using the Kyogre. We also have Hisuian Basculegion. If a ton of the Kyogre and the Camerupt get knocked out, and if we have a ton of energy that we've discarded, we could use Upstream Spirits. This attack does 20 damage for each basic energy card in your discard pile. Then you shuffle those cards back into your deck. So we have a way of replenishing ourselves as well. Alrighty, after a quick shuffle, let's get this deck set up, and we'll be choosing the next deck to go into battle with it. Gotta shuffle it really good, because all those energies could lead to mulligan. A ton of mulligans, actually. I've had 2 mulligans with this. Oh yeah, as our draw we have Rotom V. Its ability, Instant Charge. Once during your turn you may draw 3 cards, and then if we do draw 3 cards from the ability, we have to end our turn. So it's good to, when you don't have enough energy and you're still waiting around, might as well use the Rotom. Ready? That looks good. Let's cut it. Alright, let me get rid of some of these other things. Okay, the deck it will be going against is... Let's see if I brought it up here. Will be this one. This is the... Get it out. Lunarock Lunala deck. So, this deck features a ton of psychic Pokemon, well, other than the B-Barrel. The B-Barrel is here as a draw engine, and its ability is Industrious and Scissors. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. That's going to be our draw in this deck. But the main players are going to be the Mischievous and Mismagius. Let me find the Mismagius. Mismagius has an ability called Spiteful Magic. If this Pokemon is full HP and is knocked out by damage from an attack, put 8 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. We also have an attack here called Eerie Voice, that for 1 psychic energy we get to put 2 damage counters on each of the opponent's Pokemon. The interesting part of this attack is the effect is damage counters. That means this will go through Manaphy, because Manaphy only prevents damage from attacks done to the bench. So this means we're able to place this damage counters. The reason why we want to spread all that damage around is because of this Pokemon here. Let me find it. There we go. We have Lunala from Pokemon Sun and Moon in this deck. In the Celebrations TCG set, they released the Lunala that has Lunar Pain for 2 colorless energy. We double the number of damage counters on each of the opponent's Pokemon. So if we play this deck correctly, and if we play it smart and watch how many damage counters are on all the opponents, we could potentially get multiple turns where we take multiple prizes. So we could even get to a situation where we take all 6 prize cards in 1 turn if we play our damage spread correctly. In order to help out with that, we also have stadiums such as Old Cemetery, where whenever any player puts an energy card from their hand to one of their non-psychic Pokemon, put 2 damage counters onto that Pokemon. We also have a Radiant Pokemon here, Radiant Alakazam. Its ability, Painful Spoons, and once during your turn you may move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponents to another of their Pokemon. So, it's a very interesting deck with a ton of moving parts. Let's see what happens in this match. Right, so one of the sleeves is Eevee, Gigantamax Eevee. You can see it right there. One of them is just plain black. Right, so we're going to shuffle the Lunar Pain deck a little bit, and then cut it as well. It's been a while since I've shuffled this one, actually. I think I've avoided playing it because of how difficult it is to shuffle. So these sleeves aren't slick like the other sleeves that I usually use now. These are older ETB sleeves from an earlier Sword and Shield set, so of course over time they changed the material of the sleeves, helping people shuffle them easier, but these ones are very difficult to shuffle with. Alrighty, one more time because the shuffling is very, very hectic. I'm spilling cards everywhere. Alright, and now we're just gonna cut. Alrighty, let's begin. Heads or tails? Let's say the Eevee deck wants to go first because we have a ton of evolution Pokemon. Alright. We'll flip, so we need an even number on that deck. And it's tails, so that means this deck actually gets to choose. Alright, let's go first, since we also have some evolution Pokemon too. And this deck here, the camera up to deck, it does go better if you start off early with some Numel and then evolving them turn 2 and then attacking, because remember that Eruption only has 2 energy in its attack cost, so we're able to use it by turn 2. We play our cards right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the starting hand. Uh-oh. Mulligan. Ah, man, mulligan. No basic Pokemon. That's 1 mulligan. Let's just pick it up and I want to put them all in the same direction. Righty. Took a mulligan, which is most likely to happen when playing this deck with so many energy. Actually, one of my friends at a local tournament, her name is Braylon. She runs a Kyurem VMAX deck that has like 38, 39, 40-ish energy. And there are a lot of mulligans in that deck, but what's nice, it kind of plays like this deck, where you're discarding energy or moving them in order to do massive damage with your attacks. Right? I think now it's all shuffled. Let's cut and then try again. Let's see if we get any basics this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alrighty, we got a Kyogre. Alright. Gotta start somewhere, you know? Let's put that down. Right, prize cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down here. And then a counter for those prize cards. Use the white dice. Alright, over here we also have a mulligan card to pull, so we'll take care of that shortly. 5, 6, 7. Let's see in our starting hand if we have any basics. Oh, we do. We have Bidoof, and then we also have Manaphy. Let's put the Bidoof down as our active. Or actually, the Manaphy does have a lower retreat cost, so we might be able to put that down instead. Let's put the Bidoof down onto the bench as well. And let's go get our prize cards now. So another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. And let's use that red dice again. It's a prize counter. Alrighty. I think we're going first over here. So it's now time to reveal. First we do take that mulligan. Alrighty. Okay, now we reveal. And since Team Kyogre is going first, let's start over there. Let's draw a card to begin the turn. Alrighty. The only thing we can do is attach an energy to the Kyogre. We can play a switch, however, we don't have another Pokemon. We can't play supporters either, so that means we'll attach that energy and say pass. It's Team Manaphy's turn. We draw a card. Let's go play the Fog Crystal. Yeah, I'm going to play Fog Crystal. To search my deck for a Psychic Energy card or a basic Psychic, reveal it and put it into my hand, then shuffle. I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to get a basic Pokemon. I'm going to get a Mischievous. I'm going to shuffle by cutting, only because to save time. In real tournaments, again, please shuffle your deck whenever you go into it, unless the card says otherwise. Which I think is highly unlikely. I'm gonna cut. Ready, Fog Crystal into the discard. Let's go and look at Bruno. We can play supporter since we're going second. We'd only be drawing 4, so that's dangerous. Let's go pass as well. I think it's the best scenario there. Let's draw a card to begin our next turn. It's a Jet Energy on Team Kyogre. Let's attach another Water Energy and pass. Alright. Let's draw a card over here to begin the turn. Cosmog goes down onto the bench. Let's add a double turbo special energy to our Cosmog that was placed on the bench. This is a special energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 colorless. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 20 less damage to your opponent's Pokemon. However, we don't need to worry about that if we're going to be using Lunala's Lunar Pain, because there's no damage there to begin with, so it's pretty nice. We're able to now use Lunar Pain once we find means to evolve it, and then we could go from there. Speaking of evolution, the Mischievous over here off screen on the bench has been in play for more than 1 turn, so therefore we could evolve it into Mismagius. Let's see if we have anything else we could do. I think we should go and... Should we talk about Bruno? I don't know if I should save Bruno or not. So we might get knocked out soon. We might have a Pokemon get knocked out. Because we need to... They just need 1 more energy, you know? I think what we're going to do... this is a tough situation right now. Okay, I'm going to go play Bruno. I'm going to shuffle my hand into the deck. I'm going to talk about Bruno. I'm going to shuffle my hand into the deck and then draw 4. Again, we're just going to shuffle by cutting. We could try to shuffle like this, but as you can see, the cards are just going to spill everywhere because of the sleeves being very, very stiff. We're just going to go like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's see if we got anything good out of here. Oh, this is perfect. Alright. Basic Psychic Energy down to Mismagius. Oh wait, we are actually already attached return. Being silly. We already attached return, so we can't do that twice. Never mind. I will be going Ultra Ball to get a B-Barrel. I'm going to also... Yeah, why not? Let's get rid of the... that might be dangerous, though. Let's get rid of the Psychic Energy. Ultra Ball by getting rid of Ultra and Ultra to look for a B-Barrel. There we go. That Bidoof has been in play for more than 1 turn, so he could evolve into the Bucktooth one himself, B-Barrel. And we have the Industrious and Scissors ability now that we could use. However, there's one more thing I want to do before we do that. I'm going to play the Level Ball to search my deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. And here's the reason why. The Pokemon I'm going to look for works together with the B-Barrel. It's a Squilvet, so another rodent. Even though beavers and squirrels are very, very different, they look. They still have those cute little buck teeth, though, but beavers are usually found near rivers, you know. And squirrels, they like trees more. Alrighty, so Squilvet, or the Carl Weezer Squirrel, has this ability called Nest Stash. Once during your turn, you may shuffle your hand and put it at the bottom of your deck. If you put any cards in the bottom of your deck this way, draw a card. Alright, so in conjecture with the Industrious and Scissors ability, where once during your turn you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand, I could go Squilvet, don't have any cards in my hand, so we can't actually use it. So we're just going to go straight into the B-Barrel, but usually you'll go Squilvet, then B-Barrel. Since we don't have any cards in our hand, we're just going to go straight into the B-Barrel. Industrious and Scissors for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Ready? Let's see what we have. Oh, sweet. Okay. we have a switch. So we're gonna just use a switch, get rid of the Manaphy, put it onto the bench, and put the Mismagius out. Even if the Mismagius is knocked out, we have nothing to fear. Actually, let me see something. Let's keep the Mismagius onto the bench. Let's actually switch in the Cosmog. There we go. Switch in that Cosmog. Okay. And let's use Star Protection. So flip a coin if heads. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to the Cosmog by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, we have coin flip dice. Oh, let me redo that. One off the table. Oh, it's a head, so that means we prevent damage. Let's do this. Alright, we draw a card to begin the turn on Team Kyogre's side. Let's see if we get one of those memo. Hopefully we do. Ah, it's just another Kyogre. Alright. Let's go and... let me see what I want to do now. Jet Energy. We do need one more energy to attack. We might as well... Let's put it onto this Kyogre. Switch it out. Because this special energy says when you attach this card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, switch that Pokemon with your active. So, that Kyogre moves to the bench. This Kyogre goes to the active. Right? Let's play a supporter here. This is Rhyme from Scarlet and Violet. She's actually a trainer card that will be releasing tomorrow, Friday the 11th, from Obsidian Flames. This is from the pre-release. Draw 3 cards. Switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench, and they get to choose. Alrighty, let's draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Right, and the opponent chooses to switch... because they're Aqua Storm, they can't use it yet, but we just need 1 energy to use the Mismagius attack, so let's switch into Mismagius. Let's see our hand again. Ooh, Rotom V. Alright, let's put that down. Okay, Rotom V's ability says, once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you use this ability, your turn ends. Since we don't have enough energy anyways to attack, let's use Instant Charge and pass. Alrighty, Team Mismagius draws a card. Let's first put an energy onto the Mismagius so she could attack. We could then go use Nest Stash. The Squovit is off screen, but we're going to use its ability Nest Stash. We'll shuffle our hand, put it at the bottom of the deck, and then draw 1 card from the top. It's a B-Barrel. Alright, let's use Industrious Incisors to get to 5, so that means we draw 4 cards. Let's see what we have now. Ooh, Old Cemetery. Oh, fun. Let's go to the Spooky Cemetery for our ghost Pokemon, like our Mismagius and our Lunala, or Cosmog. It's right now a Cosmog, but we'll get to the Lunala soon, hopefully. Old Cemetery says, whenever any player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their non-psychic Pokemon, put 2 damage counters onto that Pokemon. Alrighty, that's going to be very interesting. Okay, now, you might as well place another Mischievous onto the bench. It's going to be off screen right next to our Carl Weezer Squirrel. Alright, now let's use Eerie Voice. Put 2 damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon. Alright, so right now we only have 2. Actually, we have 3. I forgot about the Rotom. So, 2 damage counters on all the opponents. There we go. Such an eerie voice. Very spooky as well. Okay. Alright, draw a card to begin the turn on Team Kyogre. Ooh, we have a Numel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could use a Gloria. Yeah. Or you could Boss's Order something. Put the Mismagius onto the bench. I like what's on the bench, though, because... Actually, let's boss his orders. Watch this. Going to boss his orders up the Manaphy. And this is why. The Manaphy is protecting all these Pokemon on the bench, but I don't like that a bit. So I'm going to boss it up. Going to boss it up, and then I think I'm going to go and attach... Oh wait, before I do, I'm going to do Capturing Aroma. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If it's tails, search for a basic instead. What's interesting about this Capturing Aroma, it was being played at the TCG match today on the 10th. It was played by Flores, who had this Lugia deck, and he was using Capturing Aroma. The funny thing is, though, he put down an Archeops, flipped heads, and started searching for Lugia V-Star as the evolution Pokemon. The judge got called over, and the two, Flores and Andre Flores and his opponent there just chuckling about there being good sports about it. He mistakenly didn't put down the Capturing Aroma that was in his hand. He put down an Archeops card instead. So the judge said, "Oh no, it's fine. You have a Capturing Aroma anyway." So he let him play it. So it was just a very interesting thing that happened today at Pokemon Worlds in Yokohama. All right. Anywho, so let's go flip a coin for our Archeops card here. I meant our Capturing Aroma. Let's see what it'll get us. Tails. That's a basic. Alrighty. This gets discarded. Let's look for a basic Pokemon. I'd say another Numel. There we go. Shuffle. Shuffling is much easier with this sleeve. Type of sleeve. I really like it. Look at that. They just glide. Alrighty. We haven't attached an energy yet. Let's attach an energy. I know that's gonna damage our Pokemon because of the old cemetery, but I kind of still want to attach energy. Alrighty. Okay, we can't attack, so we might as well use Rotom V's ability, the instant charge. 1, 2, 3, and pass. Now it's Team Manaphy. Might be looking to get rid of that Manaphy in the active spot. Switch it around somehow. You know what? Let's play... Yeah, let's play Judge. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws 4. Alrighty. Shuffle first. One, 2, 3, 4. Right over here. Also need to do the same thing. So I'll take the hand of Team Kyogre. Shuffle it too. Go. I should probably be doing the shuffling in the camera. Right, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Ooh, Cosmoem. Let's put this Cosmoem that evolves from Cosmog onto the Cosmog to evolve it. Let's attach a double energy to double turbo to, or actually, do you know what? Let's go and Nest Stash instead. So we're going to use the Carl Weezer Squirrel, aka Squirrelvet's ability. We shuffle our hand, put it at the bottom, and draw a single card from the top. Miriam. Alright, I'm going to go and use Industrious Incisors to get to 5, so that means draw 4. Ooh, Rocky Helmet. Let's attach the Rocky Helmet that will cause the opponent to take 2 damage counters each time it attacks the active that has this helmet on. So the Miss Magus now has a Rocky Helmet on top of her cute little hat. Alrighty. Can't really do anything else, so I'm gonna say pass. Alright, Team Kyogre's turn. We draw a card to begin it. Oh, nice. Camerupt. Camerupt galore. Evolve the Numel into Camerupt, as well as this other Numel into Camerupt too. Let's put down a water energy onto this Camerupt. That will kick up this damage counter to 40 because of the old cemetery. We're all visiting it. And instant charge from the Rotom, since we can't attack with the Kyogre. We don't have enough energy. Insufficient funds. In other words. Alrighty. Okay, Team Manaphy's turn. We draw a card to begin it. Professor's Research. Level Ball. Might as well use a Level Ball. Or we could just Nestash. I think we're going to go Nestash, so Squovit's ability. Carl Weezer, Squirrel again, shuffle our hand, draw the top card. Bidoof, Industrious and Scissors to get to 5, draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you use that combo. Alright, Psychic Energy. Finally, we... Oh, look at that. Lunala. Alright, we could evolve the Cosmoem into Lunala. There we go. There it is again. Oh, Carl Weezer, Squirrel Adventures Savannah. I know, right? Look at it. Look at Squovit. Look at this. Look at that cute little guy. Look at that. Isn't that Carl Weezer? Oh, man. Alrighty. Okay, I think now what we're going to be doing is switching out the Manaphy to the bench and then putting the Mismagius back in. Alright, so we're going to be discarding the energy from attaching it to the Manaphy, 1 energy in the retreat cost, move up the Mismagius from the bench. She's wearing a Rocky helmet, folks. Very trendy. Probably going to Coachella. Alright, and Eerie Voice. So again, the Mismagius is going to sing her mystical song and add 2 damage counters to all of the Pokemon on the opponent. If I could find 40 on this thing. There we go. 40, and there's also going to be 20 on the new camera up in play. Go. Alright, draw a card to begin the turn. Alright, that's what we have so far. Do you know what? I don't like the old cemetery. It's getting too spooky for me, you know? So let's go and replace it with Artisan from Scarlet and Violet. This is the town where you meet the gym leader Brassius. He's a grass-type user in the games. And when you visit Artisan, once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic Pokemon without a rule box and place it onto their bench. Alright, so that could be beneficial for us. So we're going to keep that there. See what else. Oh, what was for breakfast, you're wondering? I had a donut as well as some egg. That's what I had for breakfast. What did you have, Anna? Alright. I think I am going to now attach a fire. We're talking about breakfast. I had a fire breakfast, I guess, so we're going to attach a fire energy to the camera. And look, we're not at the cemetery anymore, so we don't have to worry about adding another damage counter. Okay, I'm going to use Artisan to look for a basic. Let's pull out... Do we have any more Numel? It's the time to set him up. Not at the spooky cemetery anymore. Alright, we have one more Numel. It's off screen too. There's a Numel now on the bench. We have a full bench, by the way. We'll shuffle. And then I think I'll go and use instant charge again. So 1, 2, 3, and end turn. Alrighty, over here, let's draw a card to begin the turn for Team Mismagius. It's a B-Barrel again. We're going to use Squovit, aka again, Carl Weezer Squirrel's ability Nest Stash. So I'm going to shuffle my hand, put it at the bottom, and draw the top card. See what it is. Psychic Energy. Attach it to Mischievous, Industrious, and Scissors. I don't have anything in my hand right now, so that means I get to draw a full 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what these are. Old Cemetery again. Oh, it looks like we're going to be visiting the cemetery again. Wahahaha. The ghost Pokemon. Alrighty. Spooky. Alrighty. So now let's use Eerie Voice again. So this goes to 60. That Numel gets 20 damage onto it. This goes to 80. Let me find an 80 counter. There we go. This goes to 40. This goes to 60. We might want to watch out on that one. This goes to 60 as well. As of right now, if we were to bring up the Lunala and double all the damage counters, we would only be getting 1 KO. So let's wait for a bit. We might be able to take multiple KOs. Alrighty, let's end our turn there and go to the next one. Let's go to Team Kyogre now. They draw a card. Jet Energy. Ooh. These are upside down. There we go. Let's evolve that Numel all the way over here to Camerupt. And I don't really want to attach an energy because I'm just going to be hit by the cemetery. Everyone seems full of damage already too. That Camerupt over there looks like it'll be okay, I think. So let's attach a fire energy to the Camerupt here. Hopefully the light will make the cemetery less spooky. Alright, now can't do anything again. So let's go use Instant Charge. 1, 2, 3. End turn. Alrighty, now it's Team Mismagius' turn. They draw a card. Let's see if I could do anything here easily. Nope. Or actually, let's attach a Psychic Energy to the Lunala. You know what? I think I forgot to add a Psychic Energy to the Manaphy. Or, not a Psychic Energy, but a damage counter because of the old cemetery. So, let's take care of that now. Because remember when I retreated into it? Yeah, okay. Now it's good. Alright. Let's use Squovit again. So, Nest Stash. Shuffle the hand. Put it at the bottom. Draw 1. See what it is. Cosmog. Alright. Industrious and Scissors from the B-Barrel. Draw 4 to get to 5. See what we have. Ooh, Escape Rope. Pokemon Catcher. That is interesting. Pokemon Catcher. Huh. Let's play it. This is basically got like a boss's orders, but it's an item and it's also based off coin flip. So, flip a coin. If heads, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. Let's get a coin flip die. We need an even number. It's tails, so we fail the Pokemon Catcher, unfortunately. Or maybe it's a good thing. That might have been Team Rocket's Pokemon Catcher, and they were trying to steal a Kyogre or a Camerupt or something like that, so we just prevented them. Alright, let's use a level ball to look for a Mismagius for this Mischievous that's off screen right next to the Carl Weezer Squirrel. See if I have a Mismagius. There she is. There you go. Shuffle. And cut. Alrighty, Eerie Voice again. This goes to 80. Alright, now we're in multiple, what is it now? Prize card territory, looks like. This goes to 100. This goes to 60. This goes to 80 as well. I'm feeling it. I think we'll be able to take multiple prizes if we switch out into the Lunala. Alright, that goes to 80 as well. That's a ton. We're gonna have to start knocking a few Pokemon out. Oh, it doesn't have 80 on it. Needed flying one. There we go. 80. There we are. Look at that. Okay, so if Team Mismagius were to bring out their Lunala from the bench to the active and to use Lunar Pain, we'll get a knockout here, here, and there. So 3 knockouts, 3 prize cards in one turn, if they choose to. Very interesting stuff. Alrighty, let's draw a card to begin the turn of Team Kyogre. Super Rod, ooh. Do you know what? Let's do it. Let's go Jet Energy to either Camera Up, I guess this one. That means we're going to switch it. When you switch Pokemon, the damage counters usually stay the same, so be wary about that. It was 60 as well. Right, we have enough energy as well for Eruption now. Discard the top card of each player's deck. This attack does 100 more damage for each energy card discarded this way. Let's first check if we have anything in our hand that we want to do. Nope. Alrighty, Eruption time. Whew. We get rid of Radiant Alakazam on the opponent, and then we get rid of an energy card. So that's going to be 150 damage onto the Mismagius. However, we have the Spiteful Magic ability. If this Pokemon is full HP and is knocked out from an attack on your opponent's Pokemon, put 8 damage counters on the opponent. So this is actually going to get 80. However, that's going to be a knockout. 60 plus 80 is 140, so a double knockout for both teams. These are going to go 5, and each person takes a prize card. They're still tied, which is very interesting. Alrighty, let's move up our new Pokemon. I just realized I forgot to do the old cemetery on that last one, so it's supposed to have 80 damage, and then we did 80, so 160. That was still a knockout, though, so I think we're still good. Okay, our next one will be... Let's put another Mismagius down. Okay. Let's draw a card to begin the next turn. Oops. I see anything off the bat? No, I do not. Clara? We could go Clara, or we could just put Cosmog down. Then energy onto Cosmog. We could escape rope. They're just going to choose something like Kyogre or the other Camera Up, so that's not going to be useful for us right now. Let's use Nestash. Not you trying to cheat and win over yourself. Oh man. Yeah, I need to make sure I'm shuffling right here so there isn't any, like, you know, hidden ace or like, oh shoot, what's this card doing here? Is this a boss's orders? You know, an extra boss's orders, like 5 of them in the deck instead of 4. Yeah, please, you need to keep me honest there, Anna. Oh man, all right, let's do Nestash. So this goes to the bottom. Draw the top. Double turbo. Let's go and use Industrious and Scissors. Draw 4 to get to 5. 4. There we go. See if we could do anything here. Nope, not really. Alright. Okay, Eerie Voice. This is going to go to 120. This is going to go to 120 as well. Or 100, actually. Sorry about that. This is going to go to 100, though. This is also going to go to 100. This is going to go to 80. And I don't have... There it is. There it is. I thought I ran out. There we go. Alright, now it is Team Camera Up's turn. So I'm going to put this hand away. Take Team Camera Up's. going to go from there. Alright, let's draw a card to begin the next turn. Oops, sorry about that. Dropped something. Alrighty. Let's see. Looks like we drew another energy. I think that's all we got. I think everyone is good on... I think we forgot to actually attach a jet energy. I don't know where it went. Oh well. Yeah, I think I... Must have accidentally gotten rid of it. Oh well. Let's attach water energy to this camera. That's going to get to 100. And then let's use eruption. Again, let's erupt. Oh, only 50. So you didn't get any energy that time. That was interesting. So this is going to go to 50. The good thing is the Miss Mages can't use her ability anymore, so hopefully we'll live. Unless they switch out into Lunala and then they say, yeah, have fun. There go all of your prizes. Okay, let's draw a card to begin the next turn. Rescue Carrier. How about we do that? Okay, so first, yeah, I'm going to just Nest Stash. We might get a switch or something like that. Nest Stash. We could take all the prizes now, actually. Let's see if we can get to our Lunala, though. Nest Ball, okay. Industrious and Scissors from the B Barrel. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to 5. Okay. We didn't get a switch, however. The retreat cost of a Mismagius is only 1 energy. We have 1 energy attached, so let's discard that energy. Bring up the Lunala, okay? So now, this is the moment of truth. Alright, we have Lunar Pain, again. Double the number of damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Sorry about that, the camera didn't focus on it. Alright, so we just need 2 energy. There's Double Turbo. We also have this Psychic, but Double Turbo is all we need. Okay, let's use Lunar Pain. Okay, so this is going to be 100 times 2. That's 200. Knockout. 110 times 2 is 240. Knockout. Kyogre here with 100 goes to 200. That's knockout. Rotom V has 100 to it. That's going to go 200, so that's a knockout. And we take 2 prize cards instead of 1 on that Pokemon. And this Kyogre over here had 100 on it, and that's also going to go to 200, and that's a knockout. Look at that. We just took all the prizes. We took all the prizes in 1 turn. That is why I enjoy playing the Lunala deck so much, because the chance of doing that, where you just play slowly and bide your time, patience is always key. And it's true for this deck too. You just bide your time, you're able to double the damage counters, and then, look at that. Literally blew away the rest of the board. Literally blew away all the Pokemon right into the discard pile. And you took all your prizes. That's GG. That was a thrilling match. Thank you so much for tuning in for that one. That was so much fun, trying to build that up and then getting it to actually work. Unfortunately, the Manaphy over here did stop our plan of attack with all of those Kyogre. We would have been able to Aqua Storm and then discard the top 5, like so. 4, 5, and then for each of these energy that we discarded, so if we use that attack in reality, we would have done 50, 100, 150, 200 damage, and we get to choose 2 benched Pokemon to do it to. However, that darn Manaphy was in the bench the whole time, so if it wasn't there, let's say if it wasn't there, we just go, oh yeah, 200 to your B-Barrel, 200 to your Mismagius. Done. Got 2 prizes. But since that Manaphy is there, this is why Manaphy is so crucial to have in the deck. It literally is a safeguard for your bench. It keeps them safe. Manaphy is here for you. Manaphy cares. Manaphy wants to keep you safe. That's why it makes its way to each of your teams. Alright, that's going to be it for right now in the Pokemon TCG tutorial and matches. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much to Adventures of Anna, as well as some of my other friends such as Yafun and Justin who are watching. Shout out to you both. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this sparked an interest in the Pokemon TCG, and this gets you excited to think of all the cool strategies you could come up with your own decks and playing these fun matches with your friends as well. Alright, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Please do something nice for someone, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you again. Good night to all of you, and please take care of yourself and each other. See you soon. Take care.